First of all, you have to select that column, right? Go to the data tab. Under data option, you have to go to data validation. Under data validation, you click on this and you select. And as of now, I'm going to do this for the number. So I keep a very simple criteria that the number should be equal to 10. So when I write 10, it will take the entry. But the moment I start entering any other number apart from 10, this will give me the error and it will prompt me to retry. So till the time I don't enter 10, it won't give me the permission to go further. So this was a very simple thing for the validation of the numeric value. Then we also did with respect to the text length. So I select text length in this, going through the same route, that is data validation and text length. So in this case, I want the data length to be equal to 5. So whatever text I'm entering, that has to be 5. And the moment if it is more than 5, it will give me the error. Right? But the moment I write any text which is having more alphabets more than 5, it will give me the option of retry. Going for the third option, and the data validation only, we have already done that. I'm just summarizing just to be back on the track. Then we also did think about this decimal option, where I can enter the number with the decimal option over there, and I can, in this case, I can simply write 10.5 to 11.5. Over here, I write 10.6, 10.7. But if I write 12.7, it will give me the error. Because as per the validation, this particular number is not meeting the criteria. So I write this again with the right validation and I continue with my data entry. Going with the other option, further data validation. Under data validation, we further have list, which we have already done. So I won't be stressing on that, because today I want to focus more on date, time, and custom. So coming to the custom, if you can recall, custom was all about, certain options are not here. As you can see, it will only allow you to enter a number. It will only allow you to enter maybe a decimal number or a list or a date or a time and a text length. But there might be certain situations wherein you would want to enter maybe only future date, or maybe you want to enter only past date, or you want to enter a number that maybe we have functions for that. Maybe you want to enter a text which is only a text and not a number, right? Similarly, vice versa, you don't want any column to have any other text apart from that given name. So depending on our situation, depending on our main objective of the data entry that we are having, depending on that, we may choose the custom option as well. So custom option will be useful only for those data entry criterias which are not given here very, in a very direct manner. See, direct manner means that maybe you have text length. So it will only test the text length, but it will not test the text. That means it won't validate what you're entering as a name, right? Whether that name is maybe a tree, plant, sun, earth, or whatsoever. It will only test the text length that you're entering in the column. Similarly, if you talk about the list, it will only test the list of the names that you've already predefined in the list, right? For example, if I just say yes and no, so it will only test whether that particular column is having yes or no or not. It won't take any other value apart from yes and no. So if any other option arises wherein you would want to test whether the text is in only in the uppercase, or you want the text only in the lowercase, or another example is you want the data entry for the year to be for the only current year. So how you do that? Now for all these options, if you see, you do not have any option available in the data validation allow list. So we do not have any criteria which will actually test whether the text that we are entering, whether that is in uppercase or in the lowercase, or whether the year that we are entering, or maybe when we enter a date, whether it is having only the current date in the current year or not or not. So the point is that whenever you do not have those criterias which are defined as per the defined criterias, then in that case we have to customize the formula with the help of different functions. So today we are going to focus more on date, time, and custom, because that is something that we didn't do in the last class. So let's start with the date format. So if I remember the date format, we did the past date and the future date also. So this was very clear that you have to choose the date format over here in data validation. You have to give your criteria, not between, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, or less than or equal to. So if I just say that greater than option, now if you will just see very carefully the change which will come when you select greater than or lesser than. Now when you say greater than, you will automatically see only start date will come. And if you select lesser than, by default only end date will come. What does it mean? That less date means that any date which is lesser than the date defined in the end date. What does it mean? That that is a max date that we want to have in a list, and the other dates where that we're going to enter, that must be lesser than this date that we have in the formula bar right now. So if I just write today's date over here, it is 20th, 24th August 20. So all the dates which I have to enter have to be lesser than this. So if I say 08, 20, 20, it will, yeah, it has taken. It should take. So if I say 01/01/20, again it has taken. But just in case, if I write any date of December, then it should give me the error, that is, it is not meeting the criteria which have defined in the date option of the date validation. So the dates have to be lesser than the date which I've mentioned in the formula bar. So I just correct this option and I enter the other dates. In a similar manner, further you can also do, like if you want to try, we have done that past date and future date, so I won't do that. I was just trying one more option. The past date and future date you can also test via like this. So you just select greater than or less than. So if you say less than and equal to, we can also use today function. It says that less than and equal to the date, because today is the function that will actually return today's date. Function is the next topic that we are going to do after validation.